MBTA service levels have been increased starting June 26th. Tracks will begin to be shortened and trains will stop farther from the station. Please allow extra time for boarding.
Hello everybody and welcome back to South Attleboro Station in another trip video. Kind of, sort of, maybe. I'm not really too sure. But anyway, we're back here at South Station on the platform this time because we're going to be taking a train shortly. Now I haven't actually been to this part of this station yet. We were once down there watching trains, as you saw in an earlier video for this year, but it seems they have these purple thingies now, which are part of the supports and stuff, and they also have some different chairs than the last time than we've been here. It seems they also made the words bigger on the signboard thingy-majiggy, which just says a bunch of words and stuff, and yeah. So today is August something 2020, 14th 2020, and this is actually going to be the first time that I'm going to be on a train in the year 2020. Now, under usual circumstances, who cares? However, it's the year 2020, so things are going to be a little bit different. Otherwise, we're going to look at what's in Mines trains. And there is our train, way in the distance. Welcome to Back Bay. So they painted some purple stuff on here since the last time I've been here. So here we are at the legendary Forest Hills. It seems that here at the station they've came in and they've done some work to the platform, and they also painted a new yellow line. Anyway, now that we're here at Forest Hills, few things to note. So it is now 3:32 p.m. So we're So we're at the start of rush hour, basically. Well, not the start of rush hour, but it's basically the start of rush hour. And one of the things I want to see today is one of the rebuilt F40s. I actually saw one in the distance while I was riding the Orange Line train on the way here, but now it's time to try and see one up close. And another thing worth noting is that I was hoping to see one of the new Orange Line trains. However, that still has yet to happen for some reason. There's still a bunch of the old ones, so I have no idea where the new ones are, but we're gonna be here in a while, so we'll probably see one eventually. That depends if they're running them at all, but we should be here long enough to see one. That is, if one is running. Ladies and gentlemen, I was just complaining about the lack of new Orange Line-ness, but it turns out that one does exist, and here it is. And welcome onto the tripod, which will present maximum smoothness when the train goes by. And since it is rush hour, we're gonna see a ton of trains, so I'm not gonna commentate too much. However, I will make sure to point out any interesting trains that pass by, and I will also make sure to get as many of the new Orange Line trains as possible. However, we have so many movies of the old ones that I will not be paying too much attention to those. So with that being said, let's now wait for the first train. First mainline train of the day.
He is really moving, wasn't he?
Yep.
He was all over the horn. Did you get him?
Yep.
Cool. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Needham Heights Line train. Didn't expect it to go right by. Usually the trains from the Needham Heights Line train stop here, but perhaps not anymore or something. Another Needham Heights Line bound train. Now that train had a very interesting locomotive. That's one of the MPI engines that MBTA bought 2 of, and originally they were going to buy a lot more of those, but then the order got canceled in favor for the other MPI locomotive, which is the new one. But those are a bit rare since MBTA only owns 2 of those, and seeing one today is quite something. Another solo. So it's been a considerable amount of time since we last seen the new Orange line. However, it is now back. I'm not sure if this is the same one that we saw earlier or if this is a different one. There's so few of them that there might as well only be one, as it is about to go into the station once another one goes out. Couple things worth noting. It's noticeably quieter when it goes over the points, and the traction motors sound exactly the same as the Blue Line trains. So I'm guessing, as there's a train approaching, that when they built the new Orange Line trains, they just used the same traction motors that they used on the Blue Line. And as Mr. Train Approaching, as is Vincing is saying, there is a train approaching, and it should be along here soon enough. Pretty good quality horn blast.
Yeah, he did.
It's an old Orange Line train. Ooh, talk about timing. Well, that's something that certainly doesn't happen every day. An MBTA train, another MBTA train, and the new Orange Line train comes out of the station, so I couldn't exactly get the best movie of it. Well, at least I tried. Well, we were just talking about the rebuild at 40. Here it is, with an LED light. So a few things you notice right away on the rebuild at 40, just seeing it, is that, well, for one thing, it's obviously got a new paint scheme, but also has an E-bell and a new LED headlight. I thought it was an AC64 for a second because the AC64s also have an LED headlight, but it seems now that the rebuild at 40 has has now also joined the LED Master Race. Well, I'm not sure if it's the same one or a different one, but we have yet another new Orange Line train.
Down there, it's not going very fast. I see the light, but it's not moving. Is that what I'm seeing, or am I?
So we have a very slow-moving train coming in. So I actually just noticed that it's, yeah, as you see, it's the Mascot F40. But it was going very slow and stuff, and it's now changed lines, so here it comes now. So I guess a little something else that's worth mentioning is that the train remaining behind the yellow line sign thing seems to be a bit buggy, because we just had an instance. We just had an instance of it. We just had an instance of one happening, except the train didn't come. And now the train finally has come, and for some reason it played again despite the fact that the train has already left. So I guess there's glitchy.
No glitch.
There has to be a glitch, because it happened and no train came, and then the second time it happened a train came, or I don't know, something. So here comes a train. It's an MBTA train, Needham Heights line. So that locomotive was the MPI blah blah locomotive that we saw earlier. Didn't expect to see it back here so soon, but okay. Another thing that's worth noting is that usually I would edit out the bit where the train sits to the platform. However, not that time. The train just sat there for like 3 seconds, and then left. I guess nobody wanted to get on, or I mean get off, or anything, so it just stopped and went, and eins. Also, another thing that's worth mentioning is that a new Orange Line train that was ordering for Souls had departed, so I didn't get a video of that one, but I'm starting to think that there's 2 of the new Orange Line trains out on the rails. I really wish there were more, because I'm keen to ride one. Maybe eventually in the future there'll be more of the new ones, but for right now it seems there's only a couple of the new ones, and then there's a ton of the old ones. So, we have another train coming, although this guy hasn't got his headlights turned on.
They never do that.
Yeah. First time I've seen that. Oh.
There we go.
The train that's just popped up as I stopped recording the previous spin.
Well, the NPA is running full steam ahead.
Yep.
A lot of trains.
So I guess one thing that's also worth mentioning is that the train thingy behind the yellow line announcement, I mentioned earlier that it was a bit glitchy and it's still persisting a bit, because I've now noticed that there's now been a point where, or a couple points now, where the train has already passed the platform, and yet they still say train behind the yellow line. And there's also been now a few noticeable cases where they say train behind the yellow line, but there's no train. So I don't know if there's a ghost train or there's some sort of glitch in the system. It's not something that happens every day, so I don't know.
It bothers you, doesn't it?
I mean, a little bit, because it doesn't happen every day. And immediately as I just stopped the recording for seconds later, I've noticed there's another one. This one's a bit far away. We're gonna wait till this one gets closer. We'll see in a minute. pointless stop for that MBTA train as it just stopped. The conductors got out, looked for any passengers that were getting off the train. Nobody did it, so they just took off again. You can start to see why that not many trains stop here at Forest Hills, because it's not a it's not a station that is used very much. And another thing that's worth noting is how loud the old Orange Line trains are, because they're all the way down there, and you can hear them. And I think I might have already said this earlier, but the new Orange Line trains are noticeably quieter.
Here you go. Seems like he's going the wrong way though.
Nah.
Because he would be going home.
So we were just talking about how there hasn't been a singular Amtrak train, but I guess speak of the devil and he shall appear. So that is our second rebuilt F40. Here comes the Needham Heights Line train. Yep.
Yeah.
There's a biplane.
Saw about 4 of those today.
So as a biplane flies over, I think that's either the same one as we saw earlier, or it's another one. All right.
That's it. We're going.
Yep.
We got rush hour. You must have got 15 trains.
Yep.
It was a good day.
So that's going to wrap up today's rail fanning Einziganisms at Forest Hills. So now we're going to head back home. This is an elevator.
No kidding. Does it work?
And I don't think it works. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This thing should light up.
Oh, here's something. Oh, here it is. It is working. So one thing I also just noticed, and I'm hearing it now, is that one of the new Orange Line trains is pulling into Forest Hills. So, if we catch it at the right time, we might be able to not only see but also ride a new Orange Line train. Which is kind of what we were hoping to do anyway, but then we realized that there's not as many of the new ones as we thought. But the one that there is, it's here. Well, here it is, up close and personal. The new Orange Line train. So as it's sitting here, it's making this beeping noise. I guess it's saying don't get on until we're ready because this train only just got here. And this train here got here before it, so this one is going to be leaving pretty soon. But we're going to get on this one as soon as we can. Old and new. Look at it. It's shiny and modern.
This train is Oak Grove.
Face coverings are required on MBTA vehicles and in stations.
Foldable seats.
Drippy stuff.
This is Green Street. The destination of this train is Oak Grove.
Face coverings are required on MBTA vehicles and in stations.
Next stop, Stony Brook.
Face coverings are required on MBTA vehicles and in stations.
So one thing I'm noticing right off the bat is that the traction motor sound is a little bit different, but it is very similar to the Blue Line. There is a bit of an interesting sound to the doors when they open and close. It sounds more machine-ish. We also have new beeping sound, and it seems that this train also beeps when it's stationary, and the beeps become more frequent when the doors are about to close.
Approaching Stony Brook. Doors will open on the left.
The announcements sound exactly the same though as the Blue Line, or as in the same voice, which is fine.
What's this?
Yep. Retractable seats.
Yeah, for the seat wheelchairs.
This is Stony Brook. The destination of this train is Oak Grove.
Face coverings are required on MBTA vehicles and in stations.
I will say I am impressed.
Next stop, Jackson Square.
Face coverings are required on MBTA vehicles and in stations.
This is destination of this train is
Well, I'm not sure why it was being considered back then. I was hoping it would floor it and we would get a good listen to the traction motors. And unfortunately, that's not quite what happened, but, oh well, maybe next time. What's going on? Signals? Train? I mean, you can kind of hear the traction motors, but I guess we're gonna have to wait until there's more of them so we can get a better idea of what they sound like when they take off. Oh well.
Attention passengers.
Welcome back to Back Bay. There has definitely been some decoration done to the station since last time we've been here. If you watch previous Boston videos on this channel, you will understand. But luckily, the good old steam engine wheels are still here, which is a good thing because there's no reason for them to not be here. There's definitely a noticeable difference to Back Bay now than the last time. You know, it's upgraded, and there's also these pads here on the platform. These are new. Look, guys, it's a pigeon. Didn't think I'd see one up close, but it's a pigeon. Look at the way he walks. He walks so funny. I could scare it away if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because I kind of like seeing one this close.
What's wrong with your head, mister? I don't know, how can you see? His head moving like that, he can't see right.
Yeah, I wonder.
There's nothing to eat down here, mister.
So we've seen a train, not our train though, that train's going to Stoughton. Gotta wait about half an hour for our train to South Attleboro. I just noticed that this sign here is glitchy.
You can't see through the window.
Welcome to South Attleboro at night. You don't see this every day, do you? Well, there's a train coming as we exit the station. Wow, this train looks very short. And there you have it, 3 hours worth of trains and a ride on one of the new Orange Line trains. Overall, this turned out to be a very good day and I'm very happy with how it turned out. It turns out that riding a train in the year 2020 isn't all that different from normal circumstances. If it wasn't for everyone wearing masks, you wouldn't know that's 2020. It's a lot safer than what you might think. It's worth mentioning that my main goal in mind for today was to see a rebuilt F40 and ride on a new Orange Line train. So here's a little background about both. 27 of MBTA's F40s are being rebuilt into F40PH-3Cs by MPI, the same guys that built the HSP46. As I mentioned in the video, you will notice straight away that these feature a new paint job which shares the design with the HSP46. And of course, these also feature LED headlights and an E-bell. To add, these also come with remote monitoring and diagnostics and things. Anyway, this refurbishment program is here to extend the life of the F40s by 20 years, and pretty much all of the F40s will be rebuilt by the end of 2021, or maybe 2022 with the ongoing world events. Next up is the new Orange Line trains. These are being manufactured in China by a company called CRRC and assembled at Springfield, Mass. CRRC is a company that builds other subway trains across Asia, and then some in the USA, the UK, and Argentina. CRRC is the result of a merger between the CNR and CSR which happened in 2015. The two predecessor companies had been around since 2008 and near the end of 2007. CRRC won the contract to build the new Orange Line trains in an auction against the likes of Bombardier, Kawasaki, and Hyundai Rotem. And here's something else that I didn't even realize at the time. The new Orange Line trains officially started revenue service on August 14, 2019. This video was filmed on August 14th, 2020. I didn't even plan this, but I got to ride on a new Orange Line train for the first time after exactly 1 year of service. I don't really believe in coincidences, but that's just too perfect. Anyway, all of the new trains are expected to be in service by 2022. One of the things that I pointed out in the video was that the traction motors sounded exactly the same as the Blue Line trains. I thought at first that the same guys that built the Blue Line trains also built the Orange Line trains. Then I found out that actually the Blue Line trains were built by Siemens. This had me confused as how could two trains made by two different companies sound pretty much the same. I don't know the exact answer to this, but I do have a few theories. My first theory is that when the CRRC won the contract, they and the MBTA went to Siemens and said, "Hey, can we use your traction motors for our new trains?" And Siemens were like, "Yeah, sure." This makes some sense since Siemens built the Blue Line trains for the MBTA previously, and the MBTA liked the design of the traction motors so much that they wanted to use them for their new Orange Line trains. My second theory is that the MBTA wanted the CRRC to design the traction motors based on those on the Blue Line trains, because of how good they are. And my third and most realistic theory is that the way that the CRRC designed the traction motors, they just happen to sound just like those on the Blue Line trains. Theories aside, I'm already a fan of these new trains, and I look forward to seeing these on the Red Line and more of these on the Orange Line. My only concern, however, was the seats. Rather than the carpet material of the old trains, these seats are made out of plastic. I can see why, because these seats are easier to keep clean and maintain, but they are a bit hard. This isn't a big problem since you'll only be on one of these for, at most, 45 minutes at a time, but still something worth noting. Another thing to note is the ride quality. It's a bit shaky, but that has more to do with the track work, so I hope that gets taken care of soon. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in whatever I make next. There's definitely